You're all ready for the next one. Yes, it's your boy Gufa once again. Hey, today what are we going to do? We are going to learn about sets. Sets. Yeah. Hmm. So again, sir, how simplified questions on sets are solved. Introduction to sets. Now, what is the square root of 1681? If your teacher asks you these questions, you would answer them quickly with ease, right? Oh, you say, teacher, this question is not the question, it's too easy. Oh, this question, this is because they are perfect squares and hence give exact values 3, 4, and 9, respectively. What if you were asked, what is the square root of 20? That's worth thinking. 100 or even 75. What would you have said? Or would you be like, this boy? He's thinking a lot. End of this video. Yes, the reason why the square root of 20, the square root of 100 is worth thinking is because they don't give exact values, but rather give irrational numbers. For example, the square root of 2 gives us 1.4141. Oh, unending. It's endless. So it's not an exact value. And generally, these are called sets. These are called sets. Examples of sets: square root of 20, square root of 3, square root of 7, etc. So in general, the square root of all prime are sets. This doesn't mean that the square root of prime numbers are the only sets. No. There are some composite numbers which are also having their square roots to be sets. But all prime numbers have their square roots to be sets. For examples, have square root of 2, the square root of 3, the square root of 7, etc. So why do we see square roots of all prime numbers as sets? Post an answer in the comment field below. I'll be expecting your answers. Now let's go to simplifying sets. When your little brother doesn't really understand something you're saying, we try very hard to break it into simple things so that your little brother will understand. In a form, you've reduced it to his level, to a basic form for him to understand. Maths will also do that sort of thing. Do simplification. We simplify sets when we reduce them into basic form, so that it is easier to understand. Basic form. This one is 100. Basic form. What do you mean by that? Let's see. If the square root of x is just a variable, yes, it represents any number. It's said that it cannot be reduced further. It is said to be in the basic form. If the square root of a number cannot be reduced further, it is said to be in the basic form, a simplest form. You get me? This means that the variable x does not contain any factor that is a perfect square. Any factor that is a perfect square. For example, the square root of 2, the square root of 3, the square root of 5, the square root of 7 do not contain any factors that are perfect squares, right? So they are in the basic form. Why? They cannot be simplified further. Get me? Yes. So now let's try examples. Square root of 24. Square root of 24. Let's simplify this. This is quite easy. Square root of 2. square root of 2, the square root of 3, the square root of 5. Yeah. So let's solve this. You take the number, you first ask yourself, is this a perfect square? The answer is no. The square root of 24 will not give you an exact value, but an irrational number. And when the question wants an exact answer, you have to leave it in set form. So, what do? We look for two factors of 24. Two factors of 24, of which one is a perfect square. So let's examine 4 and 6. 4 is a perfect square, but the square root of 4 will give you an exact number, which is what? 2, right? Yes, 2. Let's continue. So the square root of 24 will be the same as the square root of 4 times 6. The same as the square root of 4 times the square root of 6. Simplifying it gradually. Then what do we get? 2 times the square root of 6. This cannot be simplified further because no factor of 6 is perfect square. Examine 2 and 3. None of them is a perfect square. 1 and 6, none of them. So this is the simplest form. Yes. Try to be simple in life. Look at this second example. Square root of 75. Quite huge. Solution. So, as we did for the 24, take factors of 75, of which one is a perfect square. 25 and 3. 25 and 3. 25. Why are we saying it's a perfect square? Because the square root of 25 will give you an exact value, which is what? 5. But the square root of 3 will not give you an exact value. So the square root of 75 will be the same as the square root of 25 times 3, which is the same as the square root of 25 times the square root of 3. Yes, simplest form. The square root of 5, which is 5 times the square root of 3. The square root of 3 is already in the simplest form. So 5 times the square root of 3. The simplest form. You cannot go scot-free. I have some questions for you. Try these questions. Simplify the following sets. Question 1. The square root of 125. You can get a pen and paper to write these questions down. The square root of 47, sorry. The square root of 27. The square root of 18. And the square root of 8. I expect you to get out. Now this is a bonus question. A big one. The square root of 50,000. Try as much as possible to solve this question. Apply everything you've learned. God says no matter the way the number is huge, applying the principle, so no worries. What should you watch out next week? What to school come to the end of this week? Next video I'll give you answers to the questions in this video. Properties of sets, equations on sets. Everything has properties, characteristics. Sets also have, and operations, addition, multiplication, subtraction, etc. All those things will be discussed in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.